Welcome to the Do Zone, where entrepreneurs go to get things done. I'm your host, Josh Thomas. You can find me on all social media at JT Literally. Each week, I bring on experts from a variety of backgrounds to share their secrets on how to optimize performance so you can take massive action and crush your goals. Do Zone is sponsored by Fast Track Funnels, the new way to bring in consistent daily sales for your business in 2025 without cold outreach or burning cash on ads. We use this method to take a brand new business from zero to more than $100,000 cash collected in less than 30 days. Download the free step-by-step blueprint that shows exactly how we did it at getconversions.net. Once again, that's getconversions.net. Today's guest is Dr. Kevin Mays. He is a self-awareness junkie and recovering psychologist. He helps executives strip off their built-in dysfunction and lead with brilliance. Kevin, welcome to the Do Zone. Tell us something you believe is the key to getting stuff done that most people wouldn't think of.
Well, my experience is there's actually two things that are so essential in not only getting stuff done, but getting the right stuff done. Out of the gate, starting with a vision. Where is it you're trying to go? Without clarity of where you're trying to go and a vision on a larger scale, I've seen a lot of people down in the weeds, a lot of executives down in the weeds doing the wrong thing. So they're getting stuff done, but they're spinning their wheels. They're down in operations when they should be piloting the ship. That's one thing, having clarity of vision. The second thing is discipline. Consistency, to have a consistent time. Maybe it's on your schedule, but to consistently have certain behaviors that you do every day. It's like exercising. You don't just go to the gym once and think you're going to be fit. You don't just go full on out and assault and think you're going to get everything done. You have to, in my experience, have some consistency and a discipline upon which you are spending time to get things done that are aligned with where you want to go. Otherwise, you're spinning your wheels or you're doing the wrong things.
You know, I used to believe that, and I didn't grow up being a guy that went to the gym, and it wasn't like a routine that was instilled in me early on. And so I used to think, I was so frustrated when I started going to the gym, like, all right, how much longer am I going to have to do this before I hit peak physical condition and never have to do it again? And I'm still waiting for that to happen.
It's a never-ending pathway, not a destination.
But there's like some glory in the fact that you have to just keep doing it. I had somebody tell me one time, like, you can fake a lot of things, and you can fake success, you can fake wealth, you can fake status, and you can almost buy a lot of this. But one thing you can't buy is being physically fit. You have to go and do the work. Like, if somebody's physically fit, you can look at them and say, they definitely did the work. Now, maybe they had some help, but they had to pick up the weights and put them back down and repeat.
Nobody else did it but them. And so that's the beautiful thing. They're getting the right stuff done. If that's their goal. Now, I've seen some people who get out of proportion with it and they go so deep into it that they have muscles on their head and it's getting in the way of other things that are important in their life. That's why I think so much is important to have clarity of to what end. Is it just ego gratification that we're getting stuff done, or is it to have a healthy life and a healthy, balanced lifestyle? Understanding that about yourself, I think, is pretty important.
And there's another point that I think is essential that I'd love to hear you speak to, because if we know what we need to be doing and we're focusing on that, eventually it's going to get us to an arrival point where we say, okay, I have done all of the things I needed to do to get to this point. Now I have a choice. Do I keep doing those things, or do I change the things that I'm doing? Because as I know, this is something you like to talk about, what got you there, what got you here is not going to get you there. If I keep doing the things that got me here, I may move forward, but nowhere near as fast or as far as if I shift my direction and my focus. So first, let's talk about, when do we know when we're here? Let's start there.
how do we know when we've arrived? When you
That's
say
right.
we're here, that's interesting because, man, it's not a destination. Do we arrive? I've yet to meet the person who's arrived, who feels like, oh, they've got it. Maybe it's like at the last minute of existence on planet Earth. Okay, this is it. It's over. But otherwise, it's a continual journey. So are we here? I've seen folks, and I have experience. Sometimes I'll feel like I get into a plateau, and that maybe that's part of just at least a warning sign or a symptom that I need to start doing something different. When I'm plateaued, when I'm not hitting the next level,
Mm.
okay, maybe that's a wake up, a time to wake up and to do some things different. And you know what I find is that the secret to our success becomes our Achilles heel.
Mm.
The thing that I'm really good at that allows me to have a certain.
Oop. Sorry about that snafu there. So Kevin, you were in the middle of saying, we hit this plateau. And that I think that's a really smart way to look at this. Like, how will you know when you've arrived? Well, one thing that we are aware of when we're making progress on things is plateauing. And that may not be the arrival, but it's an arrival.
Mm-hmm,
And it's a good kind of checkpoint for you to say, okay, do I need to shift gears? Do I need to change directions at this point? And so you were in the middle of saying something epic, and then our internet cut out. So go ahead.
man, those epic,
It was so
unretraceable
good.
moments. I
Yeah,
know that brilliance that came out of me, never to be captured again.
exactly.
Well, it's so interesting because it's for me, it's one of the hardest things to see in my life is myself. I see everything external to me. I see other people, I see the results of my work, but I don't see myself real well. And so sometimes the symptoms look like my own boredom, or I feel like I've been doing this forever and I'm just not moving forward. But I forget to recognize it's only because perhaps I've achieved some of the goals I had for myself. And now it's normalized and I'm there and it's time to set a new course or to actually expand my comfort zone, to do some things differently, to move forward differently. So in those times, I get stuck, I feel sometimes. And it's hard to see your mind through your mind, right? It's hard to see the lens of your thought process for me anyway, right? That's the hardest thing, like to learn to take the lens off and look at, oh yeah, here's how I'm looking at things. And I'm stuck in the way I'm looking at things because now all these goals have normalized. And so often, one of the things I think we forget to do is appreciate all of the plateaus we have overcome, all of the work we have done. Most people I see, especially entrepreneurs and top performers, are so forward looking and so good at achieving the next thing that they forget to stop and look back. Right? It's like raising our kids. We see them in the day to day and never see their growth. But when I'm gone on a trip working with a business for a week and a half and I come back, my kids look different. I can see it in just a week and a half of time. It's like we forget to recognize that growth and we forget to recognize that whether or not we change, whether or not we're intentional and purposeful, time is going by. Most
That's
people, it feels like at some point they just become in this autopilot. And I know I've been there where we get into this funk or this kind of zone where we're just playing out the same pattern and we're not moving forward. And we forget that these moments, every moment is an opportunity for us to evolve with intention or just to evolve into a more deeply ingrained set of patterns that we kind of programmed ourselves with when we came into the world. So it's a
yeah.
choice. Is it a choice or is it just kind of more deeply ingraining ourselves to do things the way we've always done it and get the same results we always got?
And speaking of results, I heard a little bird tell me that you have sank more than one sailboat. So I don't know. First of all, I don't know that I've ever actually been on a sailboat, let alone sank one. But you have made like overachiever status on this because you've sunk more than one sailboat. So wait, set us up for the story here.
Oh man. So it goes back to having clarity of your vision. When I was first learning this whole notion of visualization way back in the day, and I thought I was reading this book all about it, right? I thought, okay, I'm going to try this. And it said, you create this vision of what you want in your head, and then to use your mind's eye to see it, smell it, feel it, taste it, touch it, make it real in your mind's eye. And there I was on the sailboat, and I was on Lake Huron out in Tawas Bay, and I was sailing this boat in my mind with my friends at sunset. And then I let it go and forgot completely about it. And my goodness, 2 years later, somehow it fell into my lap, and I'm on this sailboat with my friends at sunset on Tawas Bay on Lake Huron, and I owned the boat, which just kind of, again, fell into my lap. And it was so euphoric, and I was so caught in the moment that I forgot to pay attention to some of the details, right? I'm a guy who throws myself into life, and I have a very high risk tolerance. I don't think of risk. So as we're sailing, it was a low year for water in Lake Huron, and we were running over these shoals. Now, this sailboat was about a 22-foot boat with a 400-pound drop keel, which means it has a cable and a winch to lower the keel. Well, as I'm hitting these shoals, the keel would get stuck and the boat would stop, and we have to climb the mast and tip the boat over a little bit, and it would sail off the shoal, and we'd right it back up, and we'd go, man. We were going like mad. It was beautiful. It was crazy. And it was really one of those moments that time broke down, because there was this deja vu when I was there with my friends in the breeze, and this moment hit me where I thought, oh my God, this is exactly the vision I created for myself 2 years ago. That's when I realized how powerful it was to create a vision. But now here I was living this vision, but I wasn't really paying attention to the reality. I was caught up in the dream of it, in the manifest dream. And after we landed on about 3, maybe 4 shoals, and we were having a good time laughing, I realized that the keel wasn't going up and down properly. Well, when I got curious about it, we pulled down the sail and I removed the housing to look at the winch, and the cable had got all tangled up in the winch. So in my brilliance to jump right into things, I got the biggest screwdriver I had, and I wedged the cable back onto the winch. And in doing so, I just heard this, and that whole keel, 400 pounds of iron, came flying down, smashed into the side of the boat, like, opening itself. And then my friend said, "Do you hear a bubbling sound?" We didn't have a motor on the boat, and we're out in the middle of Tawas Bay, and slowly the boat started sinking into the bay. It was a fiasco. So I'm all about jumping into things, but also sometimes
but not about jumping into the water.
Well, that's what I did that day. Like, it's going down. It's going down.
But you made it through.
I mean, I learned, yes, it's a great adventure and a great story, but sometimes jumping too quickly into things doesn't allow us to get the result we want, right? So being able to, yes, take the risk, don't overthink it, but also, the old saying, build the airplane while you're flying it. Well, okay, that's great, but you have to have the wings somewhat in place. You have to be paying attention a little bit to how you're sailing, or else you might, if you just throw yourself into it, you might end up sinking your metaphorical boat.
So tell us a great story, man. I won't ask about the how many sailboats you sank, but it's a great story. It's a great
There's
lesson.
Others.
So tell us about who you serve, how you help them, and how they can connect with you.
Yes. So it's fantastic. I love, as you started out with, right? I'm a self-awareness junkie, and I spent a lot of time studying how our consciousness works, whether in monasteries or in academic study, or just by jumping on a motorcycle and driving across the country till I run out of money, don't know anybody for 2,000 miles, have no place to live, my motorcycle breaks down. Okay, now how is it that I get myself out of this situation? And I learned some core premises about how our consciousness works and how we create reality that I have since been able to apply to businesses. So I work with business owners, business leaders, in helping them to not sink the boat, but create a clear path of navigation to get them from point A to point B, so they can create a thriving business that works ultimately without them, to create a high level, high performance team, to create the systems and processes, and ultimately to think like a business owner, to get out of the engine room and to get up in the pilot house so they can steer the direction they want to go. Stop doing the work in the business and start working like a business leader, a business owner. So that's the work of my heart. I love it. I work with businesses all over the country, helping them scale in all sizes, which is the beautiful thing. I work with some startups. I work with some really large businesses, helping them to manage their conscious intention to get the right stuff done at the right time so they can live life on their terms. That's the beauty.
Love that. Thanks so much. And where can we go to learn more about this?
Absolutely. So my website is pretty easy access, amazeleadership.com. Love to connect with anybody who's interested in this stuff. Drop me an email, Kevin at Mays, M-A-Y-S, leadership.com. Love to connect about this stuff. Hear your stories about how you've learned what path not to take.
Well, hey, we're going to wrap from here. Thanks so much to our guest, Dr. Kevin Mays, for joining us and sharing a little bit of wisdom about how he gets stuff done. For those of you who want to connect with him directly, you can go to his website, maysleadership.com. Whether you're on your morning commute, in the gym, or somewhere out in the field, snap a selfie, tag me at JT Literally. Show me what you do while you're in the do zone. And one more time, if you want daily sales and a full calendar, or prospects who absolutely want what you have, you can download the Fast Track Funnels Blueprint for free at getconversions.net. One more thing, just a reminder, never, ever, ever go sailing with Kevin. All right, that's it for today. Let's get to work.